Hello, welcome everybody. Welcome. Thank you all for joining us. I'm so proud of my students. I love my students. I'm excited about the university and all of the students that have come in and actually put this information to work. We're building towards some really large things. So if you all are interested in joining the UNA University, we're going to be enrolling here soon. Follow us or find us at unauniversity.com. All right, and then you'll have the new season coming up. So basically, let me state this because I'm excited about this season. We have nation funding coming up. So a lot of our students have been with us since we started this whole nation building. All right, now we're at the point of funding the nation. So that's what's coming up this season, nation funding. And also spiritual history. Spiritual history, very important. We got to start with the basics. So we're not just talking about what happened here in the Americas. We're going into your spiritual history, who you are, where you came from, who you are on a spiritual level, the molecular level, the whole nine. So we got a great season coming up. This is going to be spring, starting in April, the 15th of April. So if you're interested, find the link in the bio. You can hit us in the inbox, all right? Or you can find us at unauniversity.com. Okay, such a beautiful season coming up on spring. I want y'all to be there. I'm out. Welcome everybody. Welcome, my people on YouTube. Hello. All right, welcome everybody. I'm yours truly, Divaa Lyri. We're here with UNA Republic and UNA University representing in this live session. What is today's session about? Let me fix the camera. What is today's session about? The title of this session is, why do gays want to get married? Why do gay peoples want to get married? Why? Okay, we're going to go into that today because there's some things that I need for my gay people to know and why they're fighting for Congress or whomever to consider them legally married. I need to go into that. But welcome to everybody, gay people, heterosexual people, and everybody else in between peoples. And if if you're trying to deal with or marry other beings, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to people who deal with other consenting adults. All right, let's get into this thing. Before I get started on that, I want to make sure some of you all know who are looking for the membership package. This is the trust package. This membership package comes with your trust documents, all right? That includes your trust documents, your membership badge, your allodial ID. This deals with your spiritual name here. On the back, there's a QR code so that you can always access your documents quickly, all right? Also, it includes us putting them on record for you, and most importantly, it includes an education. Got to be educated. You got to know how to use these very powerful tools. So this is the membership package. If you're wanting this, find the link in the bio, or you can go to unauniversity.com. Let me get into this. Why do gays want to get married? All right. The reason why I need to do this topic is because a lot of people are unaware of what marriage is. There's this misconception that your marriage has anything to do with God. And I assure you right here, right now, 100% that it absolutely has nothing to do with God, especially if you're going through the state. So let's make this clear. So if you all are somebody who's here because you think I'm ready to bash gay folks or talk down to them, if you so-called Christian or whatever, you're going to be upset. Turn the TV, because I'm ready to go in and I'm ready to make it clear about what's really going on when we're talking about marriage, when we're talking about a preacher and someone who is supposedly ordained by God. Okay, so first of all, to my my gay people, why do I bring up gay people? Because here gay people are trying to picket or petition or write to Congress to tell them to change some law that says that their marriage is to be recognized. I need you to understand, these people don't have anything to do with God. And you need to understand that any marriage that you do that is on record with the state, well, that's not between you and God. That's between you, whoever you dating, and the state. That is a business. Let's be clear on this. A marriage is a business, and some of y'all be like, well, no, it's love, and you don't even know what love is. Let's be clear about that. But the issue is that, when we're talking about gay people, and I don't even, look, if you want to get married, for me, why do you want to be miserable with the heterosexual gay people? I don't understand why you do that. That don't make no sense to me. Because they over here in marriage, and then they get a divorce, and then what happens? Somebody take half, you got palimony on this side and alimony over here and child support. You want to be miserable? Okay, well then let me at least give you a little bit of clues about what you can do to keep from having to go through all that. First of all, what we have is common law marriage. And the problem is that people think a common law marriage is lower than a marriage that's recognized by the state. Let's clue you in. It's the exact opposite. A common law marriage has much more weight than something that is on record with the state. Now, when you have an agreement with you and your spouse or whomever, your significant other, and you put this on record with the county, which is the highest authorizing agency on the private side. See, now you got to start dealing with private relationships, because it's supposed to be private in the first place. But I need y'all to understand something. When you get married and there is a priest or preacher or minister, somebody like that, you got to understand that all they're doing is taking your marriage, which is now a business. That's what that marriage license is, a license, which is permission, and then they go and sell it to the state. You better believe that the preacher that has married you, they put that on record with the state. They got paid for that. They are an agent for the state. They are an agent for the state. And now what you have is a business between you, your spouse, and the state. And you got to understand that when you want to break away from that relationship or that business, you're going to pay. That's why you got to have to pay a lawyer to come in and handle the situation. When if you had handled it like a sovereign on the private side between you and your significant other and God, then there would be nothing that the state would have to say as far as coming into your business. Getting back to, that's whether you're heterosexual or gay or anything else. If you're going to have a relationship, see, this is why on the private side, nobody has anything to say about whether or not your relationship is ordained by God or not, because it's between you and God. But I need y'all to understand, when I say the state, I'm talking about the United States Corporation, and y'all know nothing about that organization is of God. It's the exact opposite, 180-degree opposite. So pay attention to what I'm saying. The reason why we want to start learning how to walk in the private is because now when we start dealing in the private, we're really getting back to dealing with God as opposed to man over here with the state. You got to understand, when you got a priest there, the priest says, by the powers vested in me by the state of whatever. Listen what I just said. By the powers vested in me by the states of. That right there is telling you that they are an agent to whatever state that you are attempting to get married in. They're just going to create what we know of as a license, a marriage license, which is a business. And now what you have has nothing to do with God. It's just a business that somebody has made money off of, and you are unaware of it. You're unaware of the value of this business that you have created, because it does have a value, because a trust has been created. The judge is getting paid. The preacher is getting paid. But you're not. And meanwhile, you're thinking this is some kind of marriage between you and God and your spouse, when it's nothing of the sort. So when we start learning how to stand and walk in the private as sovereigns, which they made you think the word sovereign citizen is some kind of real thing, and it's not. It's an oxymoron. But they're making you hear you saying that, and now they bastardized the term. When we say sovereign, that's something very highly spiritual. Highly spiritual. But by them bastardizing the term, now you're afraid to say it and use it. But sovereign, that's what you want to walk like an adult. Because right now, when you get married and you have done that through the state, now you wonder why they come in and they take your children, they take your house, and they take whatever they feel like they can take, because you're not standing as a sovereign, as an adult. But when you and your spouse or your significant other, you'll sit down and you have an agreement between the two of you. And this is when, what do we mean when we say adult? You got to consider, okay, this really is a business between me and this other person. I have to consider what happens if we're not able to make this business arrangement work out. It's the same thing when you go into business with a business partner. You got to sit down and y'all got to have an agreement. Okay, well, if this doesn't go well, or this at this point within this many years, then we're going to do this. You got to sit down and think about, okay, well, we're going to split it like this if this happens, and we're going to split it like this if that happens. That's what you have to do as a mature adult entering into a business agreement, because that's exactly what a marriage is. Y'all come out of this crap about love. It's crap. I'm telling you, it's crap. Somebody has lied to you in this society. Are you supposed to marry for love? You better know it's a business. You better know it's a business. That's why they don't last, because y'all go into it thinking, oh, if we like each other enough, we're going to stay together. It's a business. All right. So we're understanding that when you are marrying and there is some ordained minister there claiming to be of or help you with, let me make sure I'm on the right signal. Maybe that's what it is. I could be on the wrong signal. I am on the right signal. Okay. All right, I'm just checking, because my people over here on Google are not getting it. On YouTube, they're not getting it. All right, but here's the deal. When you, as a gay person, and you have a spouse, you don't have to keep fighting these people to recognize you, because by law, when you know law and you decide to do your marriage as a sovereign, they don't have a choice but to recognize it. As a matter of fact, your recognition when you put your documents on record is higher than what the state is saying. You up here, the state is down here. When you put it on record as a sovereign, then it's recognized. It has to be respected. So I'm saying to you, gay people, stop trying to fight these people to have them recognize your marriage when they not even of God. If you seriously say, I'm a gay person and I God loves me. Really? Is that what you believe? Then start dealing with God. Stop dealing with the devil. If that's what you believe. You deal with God when you stand as a sovereign. This is the same thing to my heterosexual people. And I know that I can tell this to some women and they still won't get it in their mind because they want to see a marriage certificate by this state. We's married now. We's married. Not recognizing even what marriage was in the first place. I'm going into it. Well, how much time? I don't have much time, but I'm ready to go into it. Let me help some of you all, you women who have glorified this institution called marriage, what it really is and how it started. When there was the matriarchy, and please note that matriarchy came way before patriarchy, the history of women has been hidden. And I know I'm going to upset a whole bunch of people. Y'all better do some research. Do some research. But the history of women has been hidden. And so originally it was the woman who owned everything. All of the wealth, all of the money, all of the land, all of the knowledge. That was hers. And it was the man who took her over. Now she did dirt. And I go into this more in my history sessions. But right now I just want to help you understand where this term, where the marriage comes from. So she eventually was taken over. And then even when we're talking about the Bible, those scriptures were written by women. Sibyls and oracles, look them up. That's where all of the prophecies came from, the woman. But she was taken over. And it was the man who created religion. Melanated males created religion. All religions are patriarchal. And their purpose was to subjugate the woman. Make her forget who she was. Rewrite her history. That's what all people who take over a civilization do. That's what the Albions did to the melanated people. That's what, whenever somebody went in and conquered another territory, they took over. They take it over and then they write out whoever they conquered. They rewrite the history, and that is what has happened with women. And when we do research, we can see that clearly. Okay. So now we have a situation whereby the woman, because you need to understand, even when we look at the term Pharaoh, Pharaoh means the woman's house. Now they call it the great house now, but if you look up the etymology, originally it meant the woman's house because it was the woman who was in the temples or what have you, and she had men who served her. The male served the females in that house. It wasn't no one-to-one, one male to one woman. Back then, it wasn't. Man was scarce. And it was one man to these women. She owned him, not the other way around. But as the men began to rise and gain control, they conquered the woman and they took her over. Okay. And with that, he was her sex slave originally. Now she became his sex slave. That's where marriage comes in. Because marriage, a marriage license, was basically where she was his property. The woman was the property of the male. That's what the marriage license was. So he can do commerce with her across state lines. Look up commerce and you're going to find the term sex. Look up commerce and you're going to find the term sex. So that he can do commerce with her across state lines. Okay, she was his property. Oh, what you talk about, people? Because that's not. But marriage is an institution of God. A marriage is an institution of slavery, where the woman was his servant. You don't believe me? Okay, let's do some etymology. Okay, what is a husband? What is a husband? husband. The etymology, not the definition, because see, some of y'all look up a husband, oh, it means the man is the household or the head of the household. Husbandry, manager of slave or farm animals. That's what husbandry is. A manager of farm animals. Well, he was the manager and she was the farm animal, her husband. Okay. What about children? What does that mean? What is the etymology of, the word family? What's the etymology of family? It means slaves and servants. I didn't say look up the definition. Welcome 11. I said look up the etymology of it. The etymology of family means slaves and servants. So what happens is we have this husband who has a wife, and he is the manager of this wife who is a farm animal, and she has a family, and they become his slaves and servants. Look it up so you understand what marriage really is and where it comes from. That has been glorified today. And again, I say to the gay folks who feel like they want to be married, why you want to be miserable with these heterosexual people over here doing this, whatever they're doing in this marriage that they have claimed is glamorized and is not nearly what it is, what they say it is. Okay. I said all that to say this. Start acting as a sovereign if you're serious about being in honor with God. Because you don't do that by getting married with the state. And you women who want to have your marriage license, even though you know full well this is a business that's owned by the state and has nothing to do with God, but you got, we got to marry because then I have him tied in. Some kind of way you think you got him tied in. Yeah, brothers. They want to have you tied in because now you are a child and a ward of the state like she is in this business. Now, when you don't do whatever she wants you to do, she gonna send the folks after you. Child protective or whoever, or the people coming after you for child support, she's sending them after you because you are a child. You have signed over ownership of your life and everything concerning it with that marriage certificate. It's a business. And you have enslaved yourself to it. All right. But when you know how to walk as a sovereign, then it's between you and God, and the state has no business interfering in whatever's going on in your affairs. And it ain't going to be no sick in the child support services on you. Okay. All right. I got to go. I want y'all to know I love you. Anybody have any questions? Thank you for joining. I want you all to, don't forget, if you're interested in the membership package, all right, you can find the link in the bio. Find the link in the bio, or you can go to unauniversity.com, all right? Membership package, $625. If y'all have any questions before I get out of here, ask me now. If you got any comments, any disagreements, now, Diva, if we want the people to recognize us, you got to understand that when you do this as a private entity, as a sovereign entity, then you're really dealing with God. When you put it on record, all right, and you're making a statement, this is my significant other. This is the role they play. I give them permission to whatever. It's a business then, but it's between really you, them, and God. But when you get the state involved, then you haven't done anything but made yourself a child. Ed says, woman is God. Yes. Thank you, Ed. I appreciate people who have intelligence. Queen Pisces, welcome. I'm sorry we're getting a bad connection over there on YouTube, but welcome. King, thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you for the love. And, I'm so proud of the people that visit this channel because you all some very intelligent and studied, well-studied people. I'm honored. I'm honored. My people on YouTube, I love you. My people on TikTok, I love you. And I really do appreciate your intelligence and your maturity. I'm giving you this information so that we can start walking as sovereigns with God. I want you to know I love you. I love you. I love you. And if y'all have any questions, make sure you hit me up in the inbox. All right. I love you. I'm out. Peace. Give me a hug. Give me a hug. I love you.